project, the International Labor Organization estimates there are 20.9 million victims of human trafficking globally. Generally, human trafficking is thought of as something that happens in third world countries, but it's more prevalent here in the United States than you would ever imagine. North Carolina, the state that we're all currently in, ranks in the top 10 states to be trafficked in, according to Transforming Hope Ministries. I've been interested in human trafficking ever since I was in high school, so because of this, I've done a lot of research and conducted a couple of interviews. Human trafficking is a worldwide phenomenon that happens very locally, but it can be addressed through and stopped through awareness and education so that children, like your younger brothers and sisters, can be safe. So how many of you know what human trafficking is or how it occurs? Okay. The Charlotte Agenda defines human trafficking as modern-day slavery that involves the illegal trade of people for exploitation or commercial gain. Because of this, there's more slaves today than there ever were in human history. Human trafficking can then be broken down into two groups: sex trafficking and labor trafficking. Although this mostly occurs within women and girls, it can also include men and boys as well. It generally happens after meeting, chatting, and building a relationship with someone that you don't know online. But it can also occur with people that you know personally, according to WCNC. So now that you know a little bit more about human trafficking, think about the fact that North Carolina ranks in the top 10 states to be trafficked in. Some of the reasons that North Carolina ranks so high are due to the major highways, the large military bases and universities that are spread all throughout the state, the flourishing industries, and the demand for cheap sex and labor, according to Transforming Hope Ministries. To bring it closer to home, Charlotte ranks #1 in states to be trafficked in. According to a 2016 article titled "Charlotte #1 in NC for Sex Trafficking," 78 victims are trafficked across the state per year. Although human trafficking is a big issue, there's a lot that you can do to help stop it. One of the most important things you can do is just to be aware and educated. Making yourself aware is the #1 step, because if you aren't educated, there's no way for you to educate other people. Knowing the signs of a potential trafficking case is also important. Some of these signs can include living with employers, poor living conditions, multiple people in cramped spaces, and signs of physical abuse. These are just a few of the signs from the U.S. Department of State website. In high school, I was able to interview a lady named Catherine Lee. Catherine works directly with people who have been trafficked, and she's recently created a safe house in Texas called the Pure Hope Foundation. She also posts a lot of videos to Facebook to reach a broader audience to make them more aware. So one of the videos that she posted explained what the traffickers look for in their victims. They send scouts to high schools and to malls, and they do something called a compliment test. With a compliment test, they'll give a compliment to a girl and see how they react to it. So if they take the compliment and keep their shoulders square and walk away, then they're considered not a good victim because they're too confident. However, if they push the compliment away and they put their head down, they're considered a good target. Another thing that you can do is simply to contact the Human Trafficking Resource Center if you think that someone is being trafficked or is in a case where they could be trafficked. So moving on to a more personal level, think about a younger child that you care about. This can be a brother or sister, a cousin, a niece or nephew, or just someone that you know. Keep them in mind while you watch this video. It's a social experiment that shows how easily it is to be trafficked. It's embedded.
I have no idea.
Okay, well, this video shows this guy who's the social experimenter, and he goes up to this girl with a dog and just starts to talk to her, really friendly. And when he approaches her, she immediately starts talking to him, and he talks about what the dog's name is and just has a normal conversation. And then he asks her if she wants to see more dogs. And so she willingly gets up, takes his hand, and follows him out. So he does this with multiple kids, but this is just one I've found. So it's clear by this video that we need to make sure our kids are educated, because if you're not educated, then this can happen to you. But for our kids to be educated, we must first be educated. It's clear that human trafficking is not just occurring in third world countries, that it happens here in our own state. It can be addressed through your own education and awareness so that you can keep the loved ones safe. Educate yourself so that you can educate others, because knowledge is power. Would you want your child to be trafficked simply because they don't know the dangers?